What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to this Barcelona family. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. I'm happy that you guys are here. If you guys want to support this YouTube channel, you can so by subscribing to the channel and also liking this video because man, let me tell you, there are a lot of things that we have to talk about for today, which is going to be regarding Dembele and his contract renewal, Pedri's return, and lastly, the controversy surrounding Gavi's new contract. So this is going to be a very compact video and I hope you guys do enjoy it. And let's talk about Dembele first, a player that we have been speaking about so lately because we want this player to return and as soon as possible, but we're not going to be talking about what this player provides on the field. We're going to be discussing the future of his career because it does say here, according to Fabrizio Romano, there are actually two release clauses in Dembele's contract. One, which is valid for the year. It is a 100 million euro release clause that is going to be again valid for this May, this April, and this June. But once we do hit July and August, that is where the second release clause does kick in, which will be around 50 million euros, which means it will be half of the 100 million euros. But then after August is over, his release clause is going to hit back to 100 million euros. Now, many were asking, why are we trying to sell Dembele for so cheap? And why have we set his release clause so low for just 2 months? Like, was this the whole idea coming from Joan Laporta and Mateo Lemon is to sell this player at a very cheap price just so they can let him go to a different club? Well, I think that yes, that was probably the idea at that time when they were renewing Dembele back in the summer of 2022. But the reason why they have made the release clause so low for July and August is because they assumed that Dembele's future at Barcelona was not going to work out like what we saw in the first 4 years of his career at Barcelona. They're like, okay, look, there's a high chance that Dembele may not work out under Xavi Hernandez, and so if he continues to be on this form where he's getting injured every 3 to 4 months and every time he comes back he rarely does anything, let's put a release clause of 50 million euros for the month of July and August and make it a very easy buy for any of these clubs. But you and me know that has not been the case. Dembele has had a very spectacular season under Xavi Hernandez. If anything, he has been so good that we're like, this is the future of Barcelona's attack is Dembele. Dembele is the reason why Barcelona even looks different on the field. Like when he is off the field, Barcelona is just a different team. When he's on the field, Barcelona is also a different team, but in a very good way. And so because he has been so effective, because he has been the best in the world in his position, this is why it looks so cheap within our perspectives. Because now we know that with him performing like this, he is worth at the very least, my friends, at the very least 100 million euros. There is no way Barcelona is going to be selling Dembele at his form at 50 million euros. That would be a steal and robbery. So this is the reason why the journalist was explaining that Barcelona want to renew him as soon as possible. I do assume that Joan Laporta is going to be putting a higher release clause on Dembele, maybe around 200 million euros or maybe even 350 million euros. And they're probably going to want to renew him mainly because they want to keep him for a very long time and give him a 4 to 5 year contract renewal. Because look, he's 25 years old. These next 5 years under his belt is going to be so massive. He is just entering his prime. And so we want to have those type of things and qualities and talents in Barcelona. So a 5-year renewal for Dembele, it is deserved. He deserves it because he has worked for it. I don't know what happened. I don't know if like the marriage that he went through has something to do with it, but he has been a different man ever since that day, right? So this is good news. But you know what else is good news is the fact that we're going to be seeing Pedri back in the next game, which is now going to lead us towards the next phase. It does say here, according to Javi Miguel, Pedri is pointing straight to the starting 11 for the Clásico. The idea is for him to play between 70 to 75 minutes, and not just that, but Pedri was also seen in today's training session, which basically means that he is very close on returning and he is ready to be with the other players. And so again, this is big news because Pedri has been missed. You and me know, we have talked about this repeatedly over the past 3 to 4 games. The creativity has dropped ever since Pedri had to be taken out. And so you already know, right? We know that Xavi Hernandez is planning already for that 4-man midfield and to execute the 4-man midfield against Real Madrid. Recently, we tried doing the 4-man midfield with Sergio Roberto being included, but it just didn't work out. We don't have the exact same type of flair or creativity, but I know that in that Clásico, we will be having a 4-man midfield that will include Busquets, Frenkie, Gavi, and Pedri. Busquets and Frenkie in the double pivot positions, Gavi and Pedri as high interiors, and so we're back, baby. Like, this is what we want to see. You give Xavi Hernandez these 4 players, you better bet that Barcelona will get the job done, and so I can't wait for next Sunday. But I also want to give recognition for the other players that were stepping in the absence of Pedri. Like, for example, Kessie had a phenomenal run. He scored goals, he provided assists, he was very effective inside and outside the box, so I give props towards Kessie. Also with Sergio Busquets, because I think that what Busquets did against Bilbao was amazing, especially with the assist to Rafinha. He did give that pausa type of play, which is something that Pedri does a lot every time he receives the ball in the final third, and so we saw Sergio Busquets basically replicate what Pedri was doing, and he did it successfully, which is why he provided an assist, and Rafinha scored the goal, and Barcelona got the 3 points. But like I've said, Pedri is back. We have to remember that in the beginning of this season, or no, I actually believe it was in January, so like 2 or 3 months ago, Pedri set a goal for himself. He did say that he wants to score more goals than he did in the previous season, which was the 2021-2022 season. And right now, Pedri has 6 goals, and so he has already beaten his previous record, and he wants to score many more times. And we have seen that type of emphasis being applied towards his game because Xavi Hernandez also wanted that from Pedri, is to be more daring, scoring more goals, being more involved inside the box, which is why we saw Pedri arrive inside the box many and multiple times and score the goal, right? All of his goals are very similar because he knows what exactly to do and what spaces to attack and how to arrive in the correct moments. So the hard work is paying off, and I'm so glad for Pedri, and I just again cannot wait to see that Clásico with Pedri being included. And so now lastly, I want to speak about Gavi's registration. So just to basically sum it up, Gavi right now, currently, his situation as a first team player no longer exists. Gavi is now considered as a Juvenil A player, or I believe a Barcelona B player, and that is because La Liga has overturned what Barcelona have done, which is to make Gavi a first team player, and they basically denied his renewal, right? His new contract renewal. And so to hear this, I'm like, bro, like we got the whole Rosalia sponsored Barcelona shirts for the Clásico, and now we have this, which is now that Gavi is no longer a first team player. Like, it's so clear that Javier Tebas has an agenda against this club. I know that may sound unreal, and I know that it may seem like I'm trying to hate on Javier Tebas and just having like that type of agenda, but no, Javier Tebas and his hate against Barcelona, it is so real. And so look, let me give you guys some backstory. Back in January, late January, Barcelona filed a court case which allowed Gavi to become a first team player, and that led towards Gavi receiving the iconic number 6 jersey. So we're like, okay, great. Barcelona did what they did. They worked hard. Gavi has the number 6. Wow, it's an amazing time, right? The reason why Gavi could not wear the number 6 jersey and why he got the number 6 jersey so late, it's because of Barcelona's shortcomings and their economic health, which is why it took him a while and all the way until like mid-season to give Gavi the number 6 jersey and to take away the number 30. But around that time when Barcelona were successful and they were able to register Gavi's new contract, La Liga, in other words, Javier Tebas, they threatened Barcelona. They're like, hey, you're violating the financial fair play regulations. And just to make it very simple on what La Liga is so butthurt about when it comes to Barcelona's new contract registration, La Liga basically said the reason why we're not going to allow you to register Gavi now is because you filed this case a day late. So let's say, for example, right, this is not real, but it's just for the sake of you guys, like I'm just going to be saying this for you guys to understand exactly what La Liga is so butthurt about. Let's say La Liga said, okay, you have until January 28th until January 30th to register Gavi's new contract. Barcelona registered Gavi's new contract on January 31st, 1 day late, and that is why La Liga is saying you're a day late. You even passed the grace period, so which means that Gavi's new contract is now denied. And so again, this is not just like a real problem. Like, it's really not something serious. It's just that I feel like Javier Tebas and La Liga just want to annoy Barcelona. Like, really, you're butthurt about Barcelona being 1 day late? Like, how big of a agenda do you have against this club? What has this club done to you? But I do think that I know why Javier Tebas and La Liga are acting so annoying to FC Barcelona. I think it's because they don't like the fact that Barcelona and Real Madrid and all of these other clubs are forming a league of their own. We have heard before Javier Tebas saying that if Barcelona join the Super League and Real Madrid also go to the Super League, it's going to hurt all leagues. It's going to hurt La Liga. It's going to hurt the Premier League. And he doesn't like that. So maybe this is the reason why he's causing all of these unnecessary problems against Joan Laporta and Mateo Alemán. It's just problems that, should not even exist. It's really not that serious. And so when you combine Barcelona going through this contract renewal that has been denied with this other case that's going on basically Barcelona being blamed for paying referees, you just know that it's the world against FC Barcelona, and Joan Laporta is trying to defend this club as much as possible. I know that I wasn't supposed to be talking about this case about potentially Barcelona paying the refs so every decision can go on their favor, but Joan Laporta was trying to say some things about what's currently going on with this club and how they do see this whole situation. And this is what Joan Laporta did say: some people are motivated by envy and want to destroy our reputation with bad faith campaigns. The feeling at Barcelona doesn't get dirty, and we will defend the club with all our might. We're a club with values. We use the word values not to sound good, but because they're a fundamental part of our motto of sporting excellence. And so it's just crazy, man. Like, the amount of things that is being thrown against this Barcelona club while still being 9 points ahead in La Liga from second place is just, I just know, and I have that feeling. I'm going to continue to say this again and again. There is an agenda behind La Liga that is going against FC Barcelona and nothing more. I believe this whole agenda started when Barcelona did win Real Madrid 4-0 at the Santiago Bernabeu last year. They're like, oh my God, is Barcelona back? Is Barcelona really going to come back with Xavi Hernandez? Look how strong strong they look, and they haven't even made any signings. And so I feel like they were afraid. I feel like all of these men that work within the league, all of these men that work with Real Madrid, they're afraid. They're afraid of what Barcelona is going to be becoming, which is the reason why they're throwing all of these cases and all of these things against this badge and make this Barcelona club look bad in some way. They're trying to destroy this club. But in the end, we will prosper because we have the right leaders. We have the right men that work within this club. I have full trust in Joan Laporta getting the job done and justifying why Barcelona have done everything correctly, not in bad faith, not in a bad way, because that is just what Barcelona is. We are a club with good values, with good people. And again, we will prosper through this and we will claim to be the kings of everything eventually. So that is going to be wrapped up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.